Speaker, I rise today to discuss the direction of our country. In America right now, we're facing a lot of problems. House Republicans have done our part to pass common sense solutions, but we still have a lot of work to do to get this country back on track. In January, I released my commitment to the Big First, which is a legislative roadmap to create an economy that's strong, a nation that's safe, a future that's built on freedom, and a government that is accountable. Most of the glaring problems in America today fall in one of these four categories. And the reality is, House Republicans have common sense solutions to all of them, but the Biden administration is refusing to listen. We need to create an economy that's strong. Washington has a spending addiction. America is $32 trillion in debt, and the federal government deficit spending to the tune of $1 trillion every year. The Biden administration has canceled the Keystone XL pipeline and pushed Green New Deal regulations on small businesses, while attempting at the same time to do away with the stepped-up basis and oppose a new farm killer capital gains tax on agriculture producers. Here's the common sense solution. When you stop the wasteful spending, you don't have to tax people to death. When President Biden took office, inflation was at just 1.4%. Inflation hit 6.4% in 2022. That is a tax on all Americans. In the House of Representatives, we passed the Lower Energy Costs Act and the Rein in Inflation Act to unleash American energy production and revitalize our economy. But the White House still isn't listening. America's position in the global market pace is degrading. The value of the dollar has been plummeting for a year, and it's time to get our economy back on track before it's too late. We also need to create a nation that's safe. Violent crime is on the rise, the suicide rate is climbing, drug addiction and mental illness are spiking, and many parts of our country are basically in chaos. Meanwhile, we're still hearing from calls from Washington Democrats to defund the police, and the Biden administration refuses to address the humanitarian crisis at our southern border, where fentanyl, criminals, and victims of human trafficking come across every day, unfortunately, into our country. Here's the common sense solution. House Republicans passed legislation to secure the border, finish the wall, criminalize all forms of illicit fentanyl, and support the training and hiring of more state and local law enforcement officers. Today, we don't live in a nation that's safe, but House Republicans have already passed bills that would stop the chaos and usher in safety and order. We also need to create a future that's built on freedom. Each year, I host at least one town hall in every one of the 60 counties in the Big First District. As I travel across the state and meet with Kansans, I listen to their concerns about big government, sweeping executive orders, and infringement on basic rights like the Second Amendment and the right to life. House Republicans are standing for freedom in the face of big government overreach. We passed the Born Alive Survivors Protection Act, which would defend the lives of innocent children following a botched abortion attempt. We also passed the Parents' Bill of Rights, which states that parents have the right to know what their children are being taught. These are no-brainers. It's sad that we have to even need to pass bills like this because the rights of life and freedom are supposed to be foundational to America in the first place. On the American farm, we also see freedom under attack. The Biden administration vetoed legislation that would have revoked President Biden's Waters of the U.S. rule because his administration prefers to regulate every puddle and drainage ditch from sea to shining sea. On top of that, the Biden administration hamstrings producers by adding the lesser prairie chicken to the endangered species list. And I'm looking forward to my colleagues and I voting to disapprove that rule as soon as possible. Our message is this: whether you're a parent, a child, born or unborn, a student, a farmer, or a small business owner, you don't need the federal government trying to control your life. Finally, we need to create a government that's accountable. According to recent IRS whistleblower testimony made public by the House Ways and Means Committee, it appears that President Biden was not only aware of his son, Hunter Biden's corrupt foreign business deals, but was also in the room for them. We need to conduct rigorous oversight to root out corruption in the executive branch. We also need to hold the federal government accountable and rein in the White House abuse of power. As the Biden administration has proven time and time again, executive orders are out of control, and there's no way to govern in a democracy. That's why I introduced the More Accountability Necessary Now Acts, which require the president to notify Congress and the public before issuing any new executive orders pertaining to agriculture, energy, natural resources, the right to life, the Second Amendment, and immigration. This is a common sense way to hold the government accountable and stop some of the big government overreach that Kansas and the Big First are sick and tired of. I didn't serve in Congress to be a caretaker for the slow demise of America. I'm here to do my part in making America strong. We need to rebuild our country on behalf of Americans who have had their rights stripped from them, their taxpayer dollars wasted, their values shoved back in their face, and their country's economy brought to the brink of disaster by an administration that isn't getting the message. We need everything from a balanced budget to a strengthened supply chain, from lower taxes to a secure southern border, and a strong farm bill, and a robust police and military force. We have a lot of work to do. If we open our eyes to the real problems problems that Americans are facing today and look at common sense solutions on the table, we can accomplish real, meaningful change in our country. With prayer and hard work, I believe that America's days are yet to come.
The chair